We see on an island, where a group of hunters face off against several giant monster ants. Their leader gets right up close to one of the ants and says they have to hold them back no matter what, no retreat allowed. But damn, these hunters get overwhelmed real quick. The leader is losing consciousness, and one of the ants is chowing down on his insides. It looks like he's gonna die. But out of nowhere, this dude with crazy strong healing magic saves him just in the nick of time. The leader freaks out because this guy is about to get attacked too, but boom, he gets saved too. And the guy who saved the leader calls on his teammate to finish off the ants. This next guy is a total beast, beating the crap out of those monsters easily. The first group realizes that they were just side characters all along, and these dudes who came to save them are S-rank hunters, the best of the best. They wipe out the red ants easily, but then this even bigger albino ant shows up. The attackers decide to engage the ant, while they leave the wounded leader to the healer. They go all out, using their teamwork to rip off its face and arms. The super powerful warrior uses one of those ripped off arms to obliterate the giant ant. But hold up, there's no time to celebrate because the albino ant army arrives. It turns out the giant ant was just one of many, but these hunters ain't scared, man. The mage guy powers up his lightning, and the brute dude goes into full-on Hulk mode, ripping his clothes apart with his massive muscles. You can see their crazy fight from the city, where this other guy named Choi is relieved they made it in time. Choi's got his hands full because the city's got a serious ant problem too. But he handles it like a boss and lights it up with some serious flames, leaving only the colorless ones. And he's got a team of exterminators to help him out. We then learn that over 10 years ago, portals that could connect to a different dimension suddenly appeared in the world. And guess what? All types of monsters come from the portal. Only folks with special powers, called hunters, can fight them off. The hunters are ranked based on their magical abilities, from S rank being the highest to E rank being the lowest. But here's the kicker, once their powers awaken, they can't get any stronger, no matter how hard they try. 3 years have gone by, and that construction site is now a dungeon raid spot. We see this dude grabbing some drink before he heads in, and one of his friends calls out to him. He's surprised to see him there since he heard that Park quit being a hunter. That was true, but then the economy smacked him in the face after his wife got pregnant a second time. So the dude needed to make a ton of cash real quick, and a dungeon raid seemed like the perfect way to do it. We see that our hero has arrived. His name is Jinwoo. He recently joined the group, but they've already nicknamed him the weakest hunter ever. He greets everyone as he walks in, so Park asks why everyone seems to know him, thinking maybe he's some super strong hunter, but it's the complete opposite. Jinwoo is known as the weakest hunter ever. He managed to get himself injured and ended up in the hospital in an E-rank dungeon. They might as well create a new rank just for him, like an F rank, because he's that weak. But here's the thing, his reputation as the weakest works in his favor. If they call him in for a dungeon raid, it means it's probably gonna be a piece of cake. Jinwoo heard every word they said about him, but he couldn't deny it because it was true. He's just that damn weak. This woman named Juhi calls him out, and it turns out Jinwoo knows her from a previous mission they did together. But forget the greetings, she's more concerned about his latest injuries, and asks him what the hell happened this time. They sit down, and Jinwoo explains the embarrassing fact that he got injured in the lowest ranking dungeon. And get this, the team didn't even have a healer with them, because they didn't think any hunter would be dumb enough to injure themselves there. But they didn't take into account Jinwoo Dumbass' existence. Juhi gets pissed on his behalf, but Jinwoo already knows it ain't their fault. It's his damn fault for being so weak in the first place. It's time to enter the dungeon, and they're all about to head in. So this dude named Song Cheol suggests he be the party leader for this expedition. No one objects, so he leads the way, and before Jinwoo goes in, he gets a friendly reminder to stick close to the group, so he doesn't get hurt again. Jinwoo's only weapon is a crappy little knife with barely any magic power because that's all he can afford with his measly earnings. But he swears he'll give it his all anyway. In another place, there's this president of the Hunters Association named Juhi. He just finished a meeting with the government. They warned him about something called dungeon break that they needed to avoid. However, these same people demanded that they get the goods obtained from the dungeon. The members of the association make their living by selling the stuff they find in the dungeon, so Juhi doesn't have a problem with that request. The crystals they get from defeating magical creatures are called magic gems, and they sell them for money. Now let's go back to Jinwoo. Somehow, he managed to get his hands on a magic gem. Of course, he's thrilled about finally getting one, but he quickly has to defend himself against a goblin. When Jinwoo attacks the goblin, Jinwoo's blade shatters to pieces. The goblin stabs our hero, and instead of fighting back, Jinwoo just stands there screaming. Luckily, the big guy from earlier rushes past the useless girl and saves Jinwoo. While she heals him, Jinwoo can only watch as the rest of the team does all the work. We then find out that magic gems obtained from high-ranking magical creatures can be used to make more powerful weapons to defeat even stronger creatures. Mana crystals from the dungeon can also be used as weapons, but they're not nearly as effective as the magic gems. The government wants to use these items as a new kind of energy source. It's safer, more efficient, and causes less pollution compared to other types of power. It's like the perfect green energy, and the government is desperately researching how to generate electricity from these gems and crystals. Since these items can only come from the dungeon, hunters become incredibly valuable. Meanwhile, back in the dungeon, the team celebrates their victory after defeating the dungeon boss. Jinwoo must be the weakest person ever because he took a beating and Jinwoo is still healing him. She wonders why he even became a hunter if he's always getting injured, and thinks he's gonna meet his end one day. Jinwoo apologizes, but his words don't mean much and she's just worried about him. Everyone gets their share of the spoils from the battle, but there weren't many mana crystals, so they won't make much money. Jinwoo starts to doubt himself and feels disappointed to have only gotten a measly E-rank gem. He starts questioning if it's even worth risking his life for. One guy on the team calls everyone's attention to a huge hole, and they all gather around to figure out what the heck it is. Looks like a cave, but they're in a dungeon, so it's more likely to be a double dungeon. It's rare, but they've heard of it before, and their suspicion is confirmed, because they've already taken down the dungeon boss, yet the place hasn't started closing like a regular dungeon would. It seems like there's more loot to be grabbed deeper inside. Now Song Cheol tries to be the voice of reason and suggests that they follow the normal protocol by informing the association about the double dungeon and following their instructions. But the team ain't down with that idea, because it means giving up all the untapped loot that's probably waiting for them down there. Then this guy Park says it's just an F-rank dungeon, and then he brings up his wife and kid, talking about how he needs to make more money to support them. Song Cheol gets the point they're trying to make, but he wants to hear everyone's opinions before making a decision. Each team member chimes in with a mix of approval for venturing deeper, and the realization that this is a clear death trap. In reality, 6 voices are answering to go to the cave, while 6 voices want to turn back. That means someone needs to break that tie, and the only one left who hasn't voted is Jinwoo. The decision is left up to him, and he knows damn well that a D-rank dungeon is insanely dangerous for him. But with his father missing, he's the only one in his family who can earn any money. He's already burdened with a ton of financial responsibilities. His mom's in the hospital, and his sister needs to go to college, so he can't stay broke forever. So he decides to go into the dungeon. Elsewhere, in the lab, where people are getting tested for their magical powers. In the waiting room, the others are ready to recruit any promising new hunters. This ranked hunter Choi has told his people that regardless of age or gender, they're getting recruited. Meanwhile, some thieves snatch a purse and get ready to run over a girl who's in their way. This girl fearlessly snatches the purse back from those guys without even blinking. It's like it's just a regular day for her. This girl is Cha-hee, the famous S-rank hunter. She's a celebrity, but she can't handle all the attention. Her fans go crazy over her, and she makes a super dramatic exit. Back in the dungeon, the party has been walking for 40 minutes now, and they haven't found anything valuable yet. And the portal to a dungeon closes after an hour, so they only have another 20 minutes before they're out of time completely. Jinwoo says sorry to Joo-hee for making her come along because of his vote, but she's more pissed about how he doesn't worry more about his own life. If he had been stabbed just a bit higher, he'd be dead. And on top of that, she had a hard time healing his hands and feet. She keeps scolding him, and he realizes that it's only because of the B-rank healer that he can survive. Jinwoo feels sorry, so she suggests that buying her a meal would be a good apology. Our boy is taken aback by her forwardness, but before they can continue their discussion, the team discovers the boss's room. It's unusual to find such massive doors, so something feels off. Kim refuses to leave empty-handed and is determined to enter, with the others joining him. Meanwhile, in the city, a group of hunters are going through an orientation where they watch a video of Gunhee. He explains that the dungeon portal has been around for over 10 years, and there are still many mysteries within. Being a hunter is dangerous, even for the most experienced ones, so they must always be cautious during a raid mission. They can't afford to be arrogant, and the main key to survival is extreme caution. However, this group in the dungeon seems to have completely forgotten those words and is entering a mysterious, dangerous, and unexplored room. These guys act very naturally, as if they're on some amusement park ride, as they've never seen a dungeon like this before. The statues look ancient, and at least 100 years old. Jinwoo is fixated on the biggest one, and Juhi starts feeling uneasy due to the eerie silence. Everyone wonders where the boss is, and Song-chi